Untouched Landscapes stamp set. It can be found in the all new, I don't want to call it a mini catalog, but our current catalog. Since we now no longer have one big catalog, we're going to have three smaller catalogs. This is the first of them, and the stamp set can be found in there. It is a standalone stamp set. Um, I was super tempted to get it. A, because it was nature and mountains. B, because I thought you could do a lot of things with it. It's harder for me to use in classes because unless people have the stamp set, which requires buying the stamp set, um, you can't really play with it. But I thought it's perfect to use in my live because I can demonstrate it and then you can apply it with another stamp set that you might have, or you might already have it, or you might want to get it. So today I wanted to show you some different ways that you can use it, and it's not just the same old background that you're stamping. If when you see stamps like this, you think, oh, big whoop, I can do one stamp and that's about it. But there's so much more you can do with it. So I wanted to play with that today and hopefully inspire you to take things further with your stamp stuff. Um, Reminder that the berry botanical, I don't have it yet. It's on order. Um, is the product of the month for May. It's a vellum, so I'm sure it's beautiful. I have not seen it in person. We have now gone to the $7 for the product of the month. When you spend $100, simply it was a misprint. So the last from I think January to now, it was $5. Now it's up to the original price of $7 that they had done by mistake. We also have the starter kit. Sorry, it's backwards. Everything's backwards if I hold it up that way. um, for the month of May, we have our starter kit. So if you want to join my team, um, you can purchase the starter kit and there's extra freebies that you get. You have two options. You can pay it's $135. So I always say if you have a $135 wish list, you may as well sign up because then you get a discount after that if you purchase more. You don't have to purchase more, but you then start getting the discount. When you spend the $135, you get $165 worth of product. There's no shipping cost and no taxes if you're in Alberta. There's like PST and those kind of things in other provinces. And then for this month, you can also get the 5 brand new stamp pads, the in colors for free, or you can choose to get an extra $50 worth of product. So either way, it's a really good deal. If those new ink pads slash new in colors are on your list to get, then I would definitely think about getting the starter kit. And that is till the end of May that you can get that. So I'm gonna turn us around. I did forget, if you're new here, welcome. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. If you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button, share. I'd love to grow the community. And thank you for watching. So let's get turned around and we'll get started. My high-tech fancy, not so fancy hand in the way. Okay, I really have to learn to do that without my hand in the way, but that should be, let's just move that for just a bit. Okay, that should be good. I just noticed my iPad is way behind. So let's just catch up so I can actually see what's happening. Hi, Yolande. All right, so like I said, this stamp set can be found on page 56 of the new catalog. I am also using a sentiment out of the Thanks Man. I thought this is such a cute sentiment set for if you've got boys in your life, which that's pretty much what I have in my life. So that is what we're doing. So for the first, I was trying to decide. So actually, the one thing that well, I think I had already bought it before I thought of this. I was thinking, because I've been on a coloring kick, slash journey. And I had been watching like the grayscale coloring. I thought maybe if I stamped this in grays that I could do something like that. And my card, one of my cards is kind of using the whole idea, but I don't think it really gives that effect, but it's still fun to do. So that one's gonna take me probably the longest. So I'll probably, even though maybe it's not the wow one, I think I'm gonna start with a different one. So I've got my basic white here, and I've got all my stamps. So this stamp set, you need some, well, either one large block, or if you're like me and you like to have them all out, I have them all mounted. So there's six of them. So I used three of the smaller blocks, two of the bigger ones, and I don't think this one is available anymore, but you could just put it on another one of these. I think it was a bit too wide for this block, which is why I went to the other one. So, when you look at the picture here, you can see how it all kind of sits nicely into one another. So you could um, just stamp them all together, which is what I did for the grayscale coloring, which is making me think maybe I should start with, let's, okay, rethinking here. Even though I won't color it all, I'll just show you the finished product, and that way I won't bore you to pieces. This is part of another one. Sorry, I'm just gonna pick up like pieces and parts now. And the dog just has decided to lie right beside me and chew the bone. So hopefully you're not here. Oh, I bet you are. Are you hearing the grinding? Hi, Linda. Um, okay. So for the grays, I went with Smoky Slate because it is a little bit, I think it's our lightest of the grays. And I started with the bottom and I just stamped everything. So I don't know. Are you a upside down stamper or an up? When they're bigger stamps, Pippa, go. Don't be, that's too loud. Okay. It's because I had a baby bone out for Aspen, and then Pippa likes to chew the baby bones. Okay, so I'm going to put this one right at the bottom. I do like to stamp larger stamps upside down. I find it easier. You don't. Oh, you don't hear it. I was like, you're not hearing me? I'm not coming through. Oh no. Okay. I'm glad you don't hear it, but it was bothering me, so it got taken away. Where's the next one? I think the next one is this one. So I'm just following this pattern right now. Not being overly creative in that sense. I'm using it how it was designed. Or looks like it was designed. That's the one thing. I mean, I guess that's what we're here for as demonstrators. But I do find that there is a lack of instructions sometimes on, so I wish, and sometimes they do product spotlights. Um, but I think they should have like the people who design them at least explain kind of what the use is. Now I must have yeah, I do. I was gonna say there must be a hair or something on there. Oh well. And then we have our little shrubs here. So right now there's no coloring. I'm coloring after the fact. With blends. Okay, and then we have our mountains. Maybe I should have gone a bit lower on that one because I still have my sky and clouds. I'm running out of space here. Originally, when I did this, I used a bigger piece and then I cut it down. So that might be the better way to do it for the first time so you get an idea of how light things need to be, but that worked. Okay, so this is what it would look like just stamping them all together. It's cute, right? Like you wouldn't even need to color that. But if you wanted to color it, I have all my blends and all the things here. So I decided, I don't even know how I wanted to use Peaceful Pine for the leaves and shrubbery, but then I wanted to go lighter with the grass. And I'm going to admit that I usually use Stampin' Up! Usually every year comes out with a color coach and it has ideas for each of the colors and how they coordinate. Um, they haven't come out with the ones for the new ink colors. So I was like, I don't know. I took out my swatches and I decided that because Peaceful Pine has more of a bluish hue to it, so I thought the Shy Shamrock does also. So was it? No, I think it was Shaded Spruce I went with. Now I better test it, test it out. I need a piece of paper. Oh my. One sec. Okay. It's because I used this for something else. Also, look, my tips are dying. Okay, so this is Shaded Spruce. And this, yeah, so I definitely want Shaded Spruce, not Shy Shamrock. Okay, let's move that. That's for something else. All right, so that's Shaded Spruce. And then this is Peaceful Pine. So I thought they were cohesive enough that that's what I went with. So I like to start with the lighter one. Now this was a bit difficult because my tip is frayed and I meant to look to see if I had a new one and I forgot to go look. So, but as you can see, it's not such detail and I could use the other end. I do find, and I don't know, I store them horizontally, so the ink should be across, but sometimes when I open it, the alcohol comes pouring out and then it ends up being lighter than the other end side. So it's hard to like, so it's almost like the alcohol is all in that end. Maybe because no, because if I'm coloring this way, I don't know. I don't know why it does that. Do you guys have that happen or is it just me? I do have other alcohol markers, the Ohuhu ones, and they don't seem to have that problem. Now, my Ohuhu markers aren't as old as my Stampin' Up! Markers, so that could have something to do with it as well. Okay, well, I'm not going to color. I'm just going to do this little part because I'm going to bore you guys. After refilling your Copics, but not when that once they're refilled. Does it still happen? I'm curious. Oops, that was the dark. I meant to go in with the light. Oh, well, that's okay. So then, anyways, my leaves would be here, and then I would color with the light. Yeah, it's just strange that it does it like when they've been sitting, it must like to sit on that end, or I don't know why the alcohol likes to gravitate over there. Okay, so you can see I'll have the stems. And you'd keep going. And then, so for this part, I used some pecan pie. And with having the gray, it kind of ends up giving you the light and the dark, because where it hits the gray, it becomes dark brown. And where it hits the white, it's lighter. So it's kind of like a easy version of shadows. Is kind of the idea. And then I'm going to use the light peaceful pine for my shrubs here. And you can see like it's not exact. It doesn't have to be, like super precise detailed. You're just kind of going with it, but then it's got the lighter lines and it just gives it some definition without having to color it with definition, which is kind of nice. So I kept going and kept going. Pretend I colored it all, and then this is my finished version of the coloring. So I continued on. So see here, you can see, and I didn't go back. I was using the brush end and then I used the tip end, and I think I even used the dark one, and this is the light, and it still was quite a bit lighter. Just shake them. But they don't have a ball, like they're because it's the two ends. Like there's no ball or anything. I've never thought to shake them. I've never even tried that. What's this? This is shaded spruce. Well, maybe I'll try shaking them from now on before I use the tip end. That's a good idea. All right, so shaded spruce, peaceful pine, and then here I used pool party. Again, peaceful pine, and then I used the dark and the light of smoky slate, and then cloud cover for the clouds. And then I used, so the thank you is from the new words and wishes dies. It has for you, thank you, happy for you, best wishes, birthday wishes, happy birthday. You can create a lot of different words, and then it has the shadows. It has a stamp set with it. I'm pretty sure I used this last week. I don't have the stamp set out, but that's where the thank you came from. So that is card number one. Yeah, I don't know what I know we had alcohol markers long, long ago, the first of them, before they were even like, well, I think Copics existed, but there weren't really any cheaper options, and they were having troubles with them drying out, and then they discontinued those, and then a few years later they came up with these. But yeah, then I don't know why I get that alcohol pooling. Um anyways, that is the grayscale coloring. So that's one option. Obviously, you can simply stamp on a piece of paper your colors and have this like without coloring. You can also then, for my next one, a great way to come up with a very quick colored landscape is to use these same ones. Now you can combine these in different ways as long as you kind of fit them. it will work. Sorry, is it? It's like running nails on chalkboard. Okay. All right. Now that it's clean, I'm going to take my Versamark and I'm going to take my anti-static tool here. I'm just going to rub it on the bottom. And we're going to start with that bottom piece again. And we will stamp it right. And then I will grab some embossing powder. Hope you guys had a good Mother's Day weekend. I know I overdid it just with the amount of activity. I've been slowly building up since my foot surgery, but I still have a lot of other stuff. And we went and played pickleball, and um, then we had to play bucket golf later that day, and just it all just added. My hips have been not happy. I'm just heating up. Oops, the heat tool here. So I put white embossing powder with the Versamark, as I normally do with heat embossing. And it's all just gonna, you could do this on a colored piece of paper and just leave it all white, but I'm gonna color this one. So I'm going with white on white for now. Bucket ball, not bucket ball, bucket golf. Have you heard of bucket golf? Um, Somebody thought of a way to make to make money because you really don't need to buy the actual game itself. They just, if you can find like those collapsible bins, they're shorter though. Like there's, I don't know, they're like maybe a foot, but yeah, maybe about a foot in diameter. And then they're maybe a foot high. And they're, I mean, these ones have numbers on them. So you can, I mean, if you go on Amazon, you can buy like a 36 hole set, which you really don't need because we just go, I think we have 6 buckets. Um, and they're labeled 1 to 6. And then there's like a rope with the labels of the hole. So it was like 1 to 6 also. So you can set them up in your yard, kind of, well, if you know our yard, we have the tiered um with retaining walls. So they always try and make it extra challenging, or like you have to go behind a bush, or like the trampoline's in the way, or so we have some pretty good obstacles going. Um but yeah, so and then you can use your own golf club, but they're like you use wiffle balls, so they're not just a regular golf ball. And then so rather than, I mean, Andrew likes to use his own, and so does Gavin, I think, but to make it even, we all used the bucket golf clubs, which have like a really big head on it. Which messes up the first round we did, and I did the best I'd ever done, and Andrew not so much. I think he was just toying with me because then I went downhill and he figured out the club and went uphill. But anyways, that one's not too strenuous, but when Your legs. I have very limited energy, so it was just a lot for my my limited energy. Yeah, it's fun though. It's something, you don't have to go to a driving range or go to the golf course. We just play it in the backyard. They don't like to play card games and stuff anymore, which is easier on my body, but they will if there's a ball involved. Then I can get them to to play. And they even Andrew made me chocolate covered strawberries for dessert. It was a good day. We should have Mother's Day every day. I don't think that would go over so well. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing here. Why does this seem like it's upside down? This is very strange. Did I put it on upside down? No. How did I? I don't know what I did, you guys. This is very weird. It's like, oh, that's why. I'm holding it upside down. I'm like, how did I do that? Magic. I'm losing my mind. It's Mother's Day every day. Yeah, I wish. I always say I remember the kids used to be like, "Why do you have Mother's Day and Father's Day? Why don't we have Kids Day?" That's when you say it's Kids Day every day. All right. I just realized I'm probably off camera when I'm putting the, oh, not quite. Okay. So I will admit this is unique, decent lighting. You probably still can't even see it. You're like, she's working on a white piece of paper. Can you see? I don't know. Can you see the print at all? Hopefully you can. Well, I'm glad you guys feel like it's that you must have great uh great peoples to make you feel like it's Mother's Day every day. I have to milk it for all it's worth 1 day a year. Actually, 2 days a year because I milk it on my birthday and I milk it on Mother's Day. Those are my 2 days where I get to say, I get to choose what I want to eat. Somebody else makes it, cleans it. Actually, we didn't have, I did some of the cleaning this time because we were down to 2 kids instead of 3. I think Gavin kind of got away with a lot and a lot less. He used to make me the nicest breakfasts in bed. I remember one year, I think he'd gone on Pinterest and it was like it it was I think it was melon and strawberries that were shaped into a flower on a bowl. So cute. But he was sleeping this year, so Mike made me breakfast, even though he didn't have to. All right. I like it when the kids do it. I used to also I got down to one expectation. It was always I want a card. But then they didn't want to make cards anymore. So then it was okay, if it's not a card, I want the message inside because that's what really counts. So now they just write me a note. Although Gavin did try to make me, oh, I forgot to fill this up. Hopefully I have enough. Okay, so for this one, once you get all your white on, you can just come in and go to town with the green. Now you could, if you wanted to be intricate, you could bring in another green for the leaves and, like add some, I just find it kind of varies depending on how much water and ink you have on your brush. So it does have a bit of variation anyways. So I don't feel the need to be, or I could color the flowers in a different color. I just went simple, all green. And you could fill it in right up to the, like if you don't want any white showing. But I kind of think it's cute with the difference between. So then for the next part, I used garden green. And I'm not going to worry too much about cleaning it off because I do have very limited water. And it's a darker green. And then I just come in here. So this is just basic white cardstock, not even the thick stuff. If you don't want it to curl, try and use minimal water, or you could use watercolor paper. But you can see how fast and easy this is. Where's my smoky slate? I had it out. Now it's buried. That's what happens when you take things out. You get buried. All right. You have, well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe you have low expectations. Oh no. See, I didn't clean off my green enough. Shoot. Yeah, I was gonna say either you have low expectations or I have high expectations. And that's what I mean when I say like every day is Kids Day versus Mother's Day, because I don't know, I'm always doing for my kids. I make dinner with what they like. I do what they want to do. Like it's just all about them. Life is all about them. It's less and less as they get older. I try to make it less. I did. I think sometimes maybe I did a little too much for them, but not really. It's just nice to have a day where you're not thinking about everybody else, I guess. All right, so I kept going. I added some blue and then I turned it into the finished version. So this Happy Birthday is another one of our new stamp sets. This stamp set is a bundle, but it's a bundle with a punch. So this one, when you stamp it, you get the full frame. So you could like stamp it on a piece of paper and then cut out the inside and put it on top so you'd have the frame in the background. There's also this one you can use as a frame, and then all these sentiments can go in the middle. So I just thought it's like a perfect rectangular punch size to do a lot of different sentiments. So I really wanted the punch, so it's cheaper to buy the bundle together. And I liked um the easy I like the font on the sentiments. So then I just put some cloud cover in the background, and this is cloud cover that I stamped, and then I stamped with smoky slate. And it's a nice soft wooden block carving image. Because of the white embossing powder. Yeah, no, it's nice and soft. And you can see here, so I didn't do the like the other one. I skipped the water and to me this is like farmland. I don't know. Um, so I went straight from, you know, the green to the mountains and then the sky. But if you could do some water. So I'm getting ahead of myself. On my next one, I'm going to show you how to take it one step further where you're not trying to squeeze things in to make it work. Japanese wooden block prints. I don't know what those look like. I'm going to have to look it up. All right. And then, so if you are using just regular, when you're done with it, before it dries, if you put some blocks on and just let it dry flat, then you can, it'll be flat for you. Or you can just glue it down and then put some books on and it'll flatten out. All right, so for the last card, this is where I wanted to make things a little bit different and not have the same standard stack. So, except for I'm going to use I'm going to use my same bottom piece. I guess I could do it all water. I didn't think to do that, but anyways, I like this. With the mountains, I'd like the greenery. So I used my Granny Apple Green last time and it was much darker than I wanted it. So I'm trying Lemon Lime Twist and we'll see. Yeah, yeah, you can totally omit layers and you can make it so now a way to take it even further and make it look like it was meant to be is to use some masking paper. So I stamped this image on some masking paper and then I just fussy cut around it. So then I can put it down like so. And then I can stamp what I need to on top of it without worrying about something being in the way. But I wanted to then have my mountains and I wanted water in between. So then I thought, why not add my mountains? And then all I have to do is put some water in between. So then, and then it'll look like it was shaped that way, even though it's got a flat bottom. So here, I'm gonna go like so. And then I think up here, I'm just gonna come in. I don't want a lot of the dark though. Might just, so I'm gonna cover this part. I think I want to. So then you can either take an extra piece of masking paper, which I do have the opposite side. I'm just going to put this here It doesn't have to be. And we'll stamp it like that. Okay, let's make sure this is where. Okay. Oops, we missed. Well, I missed some. There. Okay, so this doesn't look like much yet, but it's when you take off the paper. It always looks so ugly when you have um, the pieces and parts. But then, okay, so then I want to stamp my mountains here. So we'll take that off. And then my mountains, use berry burst. Make sure I have my mountains the correct way, and then it fits much better. Okay. Then I'm going to bring back my mountains because I want to stamp some mountains in behind. Now, I don't want to leave white on this, so I'm going to try and, even if I'm using a lighter color, so it doesn't matter if it peeks out a little bit. I do have to make sure I clean my stamp well though, since I'm going to a lighter color. I think I should use a new chamois. I mean, it still does the job, but it's just is looking pretty old. All right, so then we've got our is it polished pink? No, barely blush. Why did I think it was polished pink? Barely blush. Okay, now I'm holding it the wrong way again. So then we're going to put some mountains up here. Like that. And then some like that. Okay, and then we can do the reveal. And we don't want this ugliness anymore. So always, I find if you pull it like at an angle, and I pre-linted this, I had the shirt I was wearing yesterday had a little bit of lint. It was like more pilly, and so I just stick it on my shirt on and off a couple times to try and get a little of the stick off, so I have less chance of tearing my paper. And then I want the clouds again. Where are my clouds? Here are my clouds. Again with the cloud cover, because what better to use than a color that's named for clouds? I just think it kind of fits. Except for since I did, oh, I'll do it the same way again, I guess. I forgot. I was supposed to go different way. Anyways. So isn't that cute? So this is like I said at the beginning, you can stamp with colors and not have to color it. This one you can stamp with colors and not have to color it, but you have a whole different, oops, wrong one. Whole different look to it. So if we go back here, so we have this one, and then we took out this one, and we just did the water over here instead of the line. We didn't use the extra shrubs, and we did two sets of mountains. And then we have our clouds again. So you can see you can mix and match in many different ways. You're not limited to, it's not one big stamp, right? Like it's not like a typical background stamp where it's all one. So you can really get creative with it. So with this one, I used a retired ribbon and you can see my green. I don't know. What do you think? Is it better with the darker green or the lighter green? I like them both. And then this was a retired berry burst. And I had used pretty in pink there, so I didn't think it looked as good. But I was going to use the Barely blush on this one and put a sentiment. You prefer the light green? I do too. I think it, I don't know, this green just seems off to me. It should have, in theory, been lighter. Maybe my ink pad has changed over time. Sometimes they do that. I did have to get a new pool party, and I don't know if it's just over time, like watercoloring in the lids. I do try not to put a lot of water in my lids, although I did today. I prefer to stamp it onto a mat, or it could be that I had the wrong ink re-inker one time, or who knows. But anyways, those are my cards for this week. That's my show. So we had the grayscale coloring, we had the watercoloring with the embossing powder, and then we have some masking. You like the light green better? Ombre green. Oh yeah, that would be nice. Hmm. Like even doing ombre with um with the watercolor. But yeah, I mean, I think they're all fun. The grayscale definitely adds some shadowy pop without doing a lot of intricate coloring. It's all the gray on the stamps doing the work for you. So it's they're all different looks, but yeah, that's what I have for you this week. I am going to be away next Wednesday, so there won't be a live. I will be in the air flying to Ontario. Um, I am back the week after. However, I believe I have window people coming or something for the house. So I might have to do it either at an earlier time or on a different day, but I will post when I figure that out. But so hopefully this gives you enough ideas to play for 2 weeks instead of 1 week. And oh, I did forget to mention there is the Creativity Now um, that you can sign up for. It's a card class, and you get to pre-order a suite. I think it's not just demonstrators, it's for everyone. Their Stampin' Up's classes are a lot of fun. They're really well done. They're online, they're virtual, but they're very well done. And those are the ones where you do get the how it was designed, how it was designed with in mind of whatever. And so you get a lot of background story information and new ways to use that kind of stuff. So, oh, that's weird. My my iPad had stopped for some reason, but my comments were still coming in, I think. Hopefully. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Anyways, so yeah, hopefully maybe Yolanda, I think you're streaming next week. If I have, oh, it's not West. I might have, I've had Wi-Fi on the plane the last few times I've flown, so maybe I can watch your live. If you want to check out some cool crafting, Yolande, who is at Devon Rex is it just Devon Rex for? Not for art. Cool. Yeah, go check her out. She's on next week. Is it 11 to 1 usually? Mountain time. So she does a lot of cool jelly plating and super cool things that push me way out of my way out of my stamping comfort zone. But it's lots of fun, very talented. So, yeah, have a great 2 weeks and hopefully we'll see you in a couple weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye.